This is D with Girl Quest Comics, and I just finished my reading for March, and I'm going to talk this video about what I read for Marvel, and it's all the Loeb and Cell. I think it's called the Color Collection. You know, Daredevil yellow, Spider-Man blue, Cap white, Hulk gray, and this has been on my list since I started reading collected editions, and I just get one Omni. I read the Omni, like I get one thing, read it. It's just there's so many things to read that even though I really wanted to read, especially Daredevil Yellow for so long, there's just one thing after another, and I kept putting it off. And last month I was in a comic shop at my local comic shop and was getting some stuff for my nephews, getting I think it was the Daredevil box that I got, and they just had these out, and I decided that I couldn't put it off any longer. It was right there, and I needed to read them. It seemed like a good month, had a lot going on. Reading some shorter stuff worked out better for me, and so yeah, loved them. And I've been wanting to read these mainly since I got this Jeph Loeb and Tim Sale Batman Omnibus. You've got some of the best Batman stories in my opinion in there, with just so many good things. The Long Halloween, Haunted Night, Dark Victory. This was some of my favorite Batman readings still since I've been getting into this the last few years. I love this omnibus. I love the stories in this. It's one of my favorites still, and I'm just so glad that I got this and started with this one. I think this was one of the first, if not the first, omnibus that I officially started reading when I got into this, and so finally got around to reading these Marvel Loeb and Cell graphic novels. I know there was an omnibus, I think, at some point, or a hardcover, but I think it's out of print. And I was kind of waiting for that to something like that to come back around. I just got tired of waiting. This is great. I was glad to read these. And honestly, I would rank these in the order that I read them. And not that any of them were bad. My favorites were in the order that I read them. So Daredevil Yellow, I loved this. It definitely felt like some of my favorites from this Batman omnibus, and just the art, the story, it was good. It kind of took me back to when I got the Frank Miller Daredevil omnibus, and some of the it was nice. I love reading Daredevil, so this was really cool. Spider-Man Blue, Spider-Man Blue is all about Gwen Stacy. It was very interesting because it's him like recording himself talking to Gwen after the fact, and so Mary Jane is there, and it was very, very interesting to read this. I enjoyed it. And then Cap is also after the fact, and it's but he thinks Bucky's dead, and so he's doing this thing like reminiscing about the loss of Bucky and just Nick Fury, and just it was really good. And then Hulk Gray, it was my least favorite, but I still enjoyed it. I've not really had a lot of experience reading Hulk, so I feel like this was a nice way to dip my toes into reading Hulk, because I've wanted to read Hulk. I just haven't got around to it. More of a DC guy anyways, but it was kind of cool reading about Hulk and his early stages, which most of this was kind of dealing with, key moments. And so this was when he was Gray Hulk, and it was cool. And I very much enjoyed reading these four stories. I do, out of the four, Daredevil and Spider-Man are definitely my top two. But I've also read more Daredevil and Spider-Man than I've read Cap and Hulk. So that might be why my biases are there, because I have more experience with that. And I've watched the movies, but I haven't done the reading. So I enjoyed getting into these, and I enjoyed dipping my toes into these, because I would love to eventually read some more Cap and Hulk at some point. So yeah, that was what I read for Marvel this much. I'll have another video about the ones I read for DC, but I wanted to focus in on these because this Batman omnibus was my first real omnibus that I read start to finish, and I enjoyed it so much that it really kind of set things forward for me. And so I wanted to devote one video to these four collections, because they are fun. They're 6 issues a piece, and they're good stories. And if you haven't read them, I would recommend them, because there's a lot of heartfelt moments, a lot of deep dives into these characters that there's just good stuff. And if you have read them, I would love to hear what you think about these four or even the Loeb and Sell Omni, because these are some of my favorite stories. I definitely am not disappointed in these purchases or the reading. It was good. Love the art, love the story, and would love to hear what you think about any of these in the comments. All opinions, comments are welcome. If you have any suggestions on any of these further to get into, especially when it comes to Cap and Hulk. I haven't read really anything unless you want to count like Avenger stuff or when there's a crossover. So would love any suggestions, any comments in the comment section about this stuff, and I'll have another video about the DC stuff I read this month. And yeah, this is Girl Quest Comics. Thanks for hanging out.